Alright, so welcome back again. In the previous videos, we talked about the FFP system and methodology and all about how it's really easy for you to actually scale your agency and your business if that's your focal point, right? If you're not confusing that with your purpose or you're not confusing that with your creative needs, then if you apply enough focus in one particular area, then you're bound to produce some consistent results. And we talked about how, niching is an essential part of that strategy and why niching doesn't work for a lot of people. And what are the common misconceptions of why people don't even bother applying or trying to put a niche together. In this particular video, we're going to talk about the exact steps of how to put together an authority sales system based on one individual niche and how it can provide a hell of a lot more stability and security in your business. You can achieve a predictable income in a lot faster time than you've been doing so far. So in this video, we're going to talk about how do you select the right niche? How do you position yourself as an authority without spending massive amounts of time or budgets on design and spending money on ads? So step number one is, before you even ask yourself the question as to what niche should you be targeting, I want you to take a step back and gain some clarity and self-awareness about yourself, because most people, they end up chasing the money first, right? And that's why most niches never work, or most businesses never work in the long run. It's not uncommon in this day and age to find a successful business person who's truly unhappy. And that's not success, it's half-empty success. And, we can have the perfect map in life, right? We can follow the best business advice, follow the most profitable niche, follow all the best sales advice and tactics. But if we don't have the proper directions and compass, our internal compass, we're still going to get lost. Because clarity, my friends, is power. The more clear you can get about who it is that you want to serve, what makes you happy, what skills you have, and how you want to make a difference in the world, the more you can show up with power, authenticity, purpose, and integrity. And that's when things really start to take shape. So luckily for you guys, I have a very simple exercise of how you can start to figure out, what actually makes you tick, what makes you happy, what turns you on, and who it is that you really want to serve. So let's have this quick little exercise for a second. So in order to understand a little bit better what your purpose is, I want you to have a look at this next exercise. It's called IKIGAI, or reason for being. It's a Japanese concept which is about the intersect about what makes you happy, what the world needs more of, what skills you have, and how you can actually make money from these skills. The intersect of these areas is your life purpose. And once you have an understanding of what your life purpose is, you have a far better idea about who it is you really want to serve. So let me give you an example from my own life, right? I used to serve some really big brand clients. And I did that because, I thought that's what the correct thing to do is. Every agency wants to have their trophy clients. But after doing 5 years of business with them, I realized what a big drain it was on my energy, because, we didn't see eye to eye. We didn't have similar values. I was an entrepreneur and I was interested in building things from a place of purpose and passion. And they were employees in a larger corporation that, their job was to make sure that their jobs were secure. And there's nothing wrong with that, There are other people that resonate with that fact and perhaps prefer working with big corporates, but it just wasn't for me. And the moment I had that realization, the moment I said to myself, actually, I don't want to serve these type of clients. I want to serve entrepreneurs like me and you. That's when things really started to open up, and I found my motivation again, my energy. And the amazing thing about it is, if you know exactly who it is that you're meant to serve, because you've asked the right questions about who you really are, then the energy comes up by itself. You're present, no matter how much work is required for you, you find a way to make it work, because it's no longer a job, it's no longer a chore. It becomes effortless because you're doing it out of a sense of purpose and out of a sense of passion. So that is the biggest clue on how to actually pick your niche, right? Think about what your values are, who your ideal client is, what your pain points that you're going through right now, what the world needs more of, what would make you happy to actually do. We never actually sit and ask ourselves any of these questions. Step number 2, don't pick a niche, pick a sub-niche. And this is based on the blue ocean strategy, which basically says that You know, in the beginning, there were only three markets: wealth, health, and relationships. And it was really easy to become the expert in each one of these markets. But as markets became more and more sophisticated, you had different niches branching off from each one of these markets. So in health, you had someone who was specializing in nutrition, someone who was specializing in weight training, and so the markets became more and more complex. And each time those markets become complex, they become more saturated with competition. So a sub-niche, if we're taking the previous example of health, is taking it one step further. Instead of just being a weight loss expert, you can be the weight loss expert for college students if that's who you resonate with, or the weight loss expert for busy startup entrepreneurs. And the reason why that allows you to become an authority in a much simpler and easier way is it's based on who you are and what your passions are, and allowing that to resonate with that particular audience that is already interested in health in general, but want to hear it from that unique point of view that you have to offer, right? So you showing up exactly how you are authentically is actually a way to create the biggest niche there is, right? Because there's only one of you that can't be replicated. Another example is in wealth. Let's take digital agencies, which basically is part of the wealth creation. The reason we exist is to help businesses generate more revenue, and so we're part of the overall wealth industry. In this particular industry, my interest is in how to teach digital agencies on how to scale their sales systems. So that's already a sub-niche. But I take it actually one step further. I teach digital agencies who are looking to scale their business, but at the same time have a strong sense of purpose and want to make a big impact in the world. So that's, again, another example of sub-niching it further. So the real key, as I mentioned earlier, is having a self-awareness about who you are and what your values are, and not being afraid to go and share that with the world, because you'll be surprised. There are a number of people out there who are looking exactly for your message. Now, number 3, in order for you to become an authority in a particular niche or sub-niche, then you have to be willing to create an intimate connection with your target market. And that starts with owning their needs, wants, and desires. Now, most people believe that sales is just an exercise of taking money from people's wallets, but actually sales is really much, much more than that. If you think about what a salesperson does, is they have to help their prospect uncover past pain or trauma, which is keeping them stuck from seeing a potential solution. So that's what real sales is about. It's about illuminating a pain point in your prospect's life that they're not currently aware of, and helping them overcome that pain point through your solutions and your motivation and your message. All prospects or people really are looking for someone to lead them. So your job really is to have a really intimate understanding, to care more than anyone else is willing to, and then to make sure that you own your niche through your care and empathy. And that's how you establish an authority. People want to do business with people who really care about them, who really understand their intimate specific needs. Most people make the mistake in marketing that they just talk generically. We do great websites, we do great conversions, we'll help you generate sales, but that doesn't speak to the individual. And how do we get an understanding of our clients' needs, our intimate needs? We have lots and lots of conversations. The more conversations, the more you'll uncover, who your prospect really is. And the main idea is for you to understand your prospect's problems and the eventual solutions better than your actual prospect does. That's when you become an authority. So step number 4 is create an irresistible offer that positions you as an authority for your chosen niche and your ideal client. And how we do that is, again, now that you're equipped with an intimate understanding of what your ideal client wants, desires, what he wants to avoid, the pain and the trauma in his life and his business, you're perfectly positioned to provide an offer and structure an offer in such a way that it's really difficult for them to say no to. I'll give you an example. If I can help you scale your agency in the next 3 to 6 months by tenfold, and doing so help you impact more people in your business and in your life, would you be interested? Now, the key to this message and this offer is, number 1, I know who I'm speaking to. I'm speaking towards a specific problem and offering a specific solution. I'm making it quantifiable, so in 3 to 6 months, I can help you scale your agency by tenfold. And number 3 is, I'm also speaking to the emotional needs of my of my chosen niche. The fact that most of my niche or ideal customers are really passionate and purpose driven. So my message is perfectly positioned for their unique need. I'm not trying to be anyone else. I'm not trying to offer marketing or operations advice for agencies. My specialization is for those agency owners who are purpose driven and want to achieve massive impact in their lives. So now that you have an intimate understanding of your target market, you've positioned an offer in such a way that it's really irresistible for them to say no to, or at least to want to find out more information, you're fully equipped and ready now to launch your sales system, to create a predictable way of you generating more leads in a consistent and reliable and scalable way. And I'll tell you why is because the opposite of that, the way we normally do business is we go for this one-shot approach, right? We network in some kind of an event, we get referred by, I don't know, some person to a potential client, or we get invited to a pitch, and we're expected within 1 to 2 weeks to put together a custom proposal based on very little knowledge and understanding of who our clients are. And in most cases, if you do have, then you're already one step closer to niching. And secondly is, we don't get an opportunity to practice our message enough such that it actually delivers in the most powerful and effective way, in a way that actually sells. So I'm telling you to look at it from the other way, right? If you had one message that you repeated again and again and again by consistently, testing it on more and more prospects, then wouldn't you get good at it? Wouldn't you get good at selling it? Wouldn't you also get better at understanding what the needs are and how to position those needs? So, this takes a radically different approach. And the problem is that most creatives and techies, most engineers, they come from a background of trying to launch everything in a perfect way. In fact, developers understand this a little bit better because, they have a launching a minimal viable product approach. But the point is still the same, is that, we tend to think that everything has to be perfect before it launches. And, I'm telling you that it really doesn't. All you need is a right sales message based on very well researched buyer persona and an irresistible offer, and then to repeat that message in a consistent way until you tweak your results. And then finally, the real test of whether you have a winning service or niche is really down to sales. If it sells, then it's worth investing in marketing, then it's worth investing in operations, then it's worth investing in switching your staff up to be able to fulfill these orders, not the other way around. So you really need no advertising, you really need none of your staff to pivot and service this particular market. You can leave them with your current revenue generating clients, and all this requires is some focus, some vision, and some consistent energy and action from your part. And I'll leave you guys with the following remark. The key to success really is in taking C.I.A. action, which stands for courageous, imperfect action. Most people, they want to wait until everything is perfectly lined up, and they have all sorts of excuses before they even get going. But the real secret to success, the real secret to getting everything that you ever wanted, is just having the courage to take that step forward, knowing that you're going to make mistakes, and knowing that each mistake is just going to teach you how to get that one step closer towards your real goal. All right, guys, that marks the end of these video series. I hope you found it useful, and I hope you found enough information there that you can implement in your own agency starting from today, starting from tomorrow, and taking that first courageously imperfect steps towards achieving financial freedom and achieving a lot more impact in your business and in your life. And if you're curious to find out how that system actually looks like, if you want to figure out a little bit more about how an authority system works, then I want to invite you guys to a free webinar that I'm holding, where I'm going to be revealing all the behind scenes of how we actually put together these systems for myself and for my clients. So I'm going to be revealing the 3 secrets on how to put together an authority sales system, from how to find the right time and resources to put this together, because I know a major issue for most agency owners is we never really have enough time. And number 2, we're going to be going into a lot more detail into what actually the sales system looks like, what are the steps, what are the messages, how to position basically the irresistible offer, and what are the numbers actually. What can you typically expect from such a strategy and such an approach? And number 3 is we're going to be talking a little bit more about how you actually create an authority, right? What are the secret ingredients for you to position yourself in such a way that your target market looks at you as an authority? So if you're ready to make a big change, if you're ready to take action, and if you want to see how you can 10x your sales and 10x the level of impact that you have in your business and in your life, then make sure that you click on the link below, and I'll see you in the next webinar.